Hey there! Today I would like to talk about a unique pen. And it is unique because it was made for me by hand, and there is no other pen like this. There may be pens that look a bit like it, but every pen, because it is handmade, is individual and is different. How did I come by the pen? Well, I got into contact with a man from the US, Brett Thompson, via YouTube. I'll post a link to his channel down below. And we started to converse a bit, and he said, well, actually I make pens. So I thought, well, okay, sounds interesting. I asked him for some pictures, thinking, well, if an amateur makes pens, they're probably going to be a bit, you know, rough, not very refined. Well, I was wrong, because he makes some really, really nice pens. And this is not his job, it's not what he does for a living, and yet these are, I think, highly professional pens. So what he does, and then I promise I'll show you the pen after this, what he does is he creates kit pens, which means that you buy specific parts, prefabricated, like a nib and a feed and the clip, so pretty much the metal and the plastic parts on a pen, and then you make the blank, so you make the barrel and you make the cap. I'll show you that in a second. The good thing about that is that you can sort of pick the material and the colors of stuff you like, and then someone turns that into a pen. I cannot do this, but he can. And the result of that process is this. Is that a nice pen? Look at this. Look at this. Both are swirled pens with a swirl pattern on it. The recommended retail price of this one is, I think, close to 5 times of what I paid for this pen. Okay? So there's a difference there, and both pens, I think, look gorgeous. Let's have a look at this pen. So, Brett buys parts, the metal parts. So he buys a clip and this end cap and the blind cap on the back of the barrel and this little ring, and of course the nib, the grip section. But he makes this and he makes that, and he has done a fantastic job in doing so. So the process of making the blank looks like this. Okay, so just so you know, I mean, these were pictures he sent me. That's actually my pen being made, and this is what you end up with. And what you end up with is a very nicely made, well balanced, heavy pen. This pen weighs 50 grams, and that is a lot for pens. It doesn't sound like it's very heavy, but believe me, it's heavy. Not only is it heavy, it's also well balanced. I'll talk you through the pen, as I usually do, and then I'll show you a writing sample. Okay? So here we go. The cap, of course, overall, when I saw a picture of this red swirl design, I was sold. I mean, I really love this. It has a gorgeous marbled effect, which you can probably see a little bit. It's like there's layers in this pen, like it lays a type of depth. It's really beautiful. It's very, very smooth to the touch, really nice. It's a type of acrylic. So let's have a look at the cap. We have this nice pyramid type of thing on top of the cap, which I really like. It looks really nice. It is again a bit like this pen. You see that you have, this is a Conway Stewart. You have this sort of pyramid thing on the end of the cap too, but with this one it's metal and it's bigger. And I really like the shape, right? Because the cap is very slightly tapered here. It's a bit wider there and a bit narrower there. Really nice. I really like that. We have the clip. Well, the clip is the clip, and it works. It does a good job of being a clip. Nice and springy. Not too tight, not too loose. Great. A nice little ring there, which actually moves around a bit, which I think is actually kind of nice. I find myself sort of playing with it during the day. The barrel, same material as the cap, of course. Looks nice. And now we have a type of blind cap on the back, which looks like a type of chrome. I'm not sure whether it is chrome, but it has that color, which I think really complements the pen, because you have some of the gray in the barrel and in the cap, and you have this metal color there. Really like it. Okay, we open up the pen by unscrewing the cap. The cap alone is pretty heavy, by the way. And then we see the grip section. Now the first thing you may notice, that was the first thing I noticed, is that this is fairly narrow. And I thought, large hands, narrow grip, is this going to work out? The answer is yes. It works out perfectly well, because the barrel is fairly heavy. And when you hold it like this, the balance is great. Really, I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, of course you have the screw threads to keep the cap in place. One thing you may not have noticed, but you cannot post this pen, so this doesn't really fit. It doesn't stay on. Brett explained to me that he can also buy or use an end cap which has sort of screw threads, I think, so you can post the pen. But don't forget, this is already a heavy pen, and I think if you would post this, actually the balance would be disturbed and would be ruined. So writing, even for me with my large hands, is great as it is. I don't have to post this pen. The fact that the grip section is narrow doesn't really matter. It's very pleasant to hold, it's metal, it's smooth, but your fingers don't slip. I thought it was very nice. Unlike with plastic, which can be a bit slippery, somehow this metal is not slippery at all. It's very pleasant to hold. Now we have the nib. The nib is probably rhodium plated. We're not absolutely sure. Actually, I couldn't care less, because what I can tell you is that it is a very smooth nib. That's the only thing that matters, right? I mean, if some company could use paperclip metal to make very smooth nibs, who cares? It's paperclip metal as long as the nib is smooth. Right, you can unscrew the barrel, and out comes the converter. Brett was kind enough to supply me with a converter, knowing I like bottled ink. So this converter was full when I got the pen, which was Tuesday. It is now Saturday, so this much ink has disappeared in the course of just a few days, which I think is a nice indicator of how much I like the pen. It's just a standard international type cartridge converter. You see, this looks like the nipple on a standard international cartridge. So it fits in there. What more can I say? Writing experience is extremely smooth. Beautifully designed pen, well-balanced pen, well-made pen. Again, I thought, well, if this is made by an amateur, there will be some rough edges. Not true. This is all very smooth. It feels like it's been made by, I don't know, a firm like Visconti, Conway Stewart, some of the top players. It really, really feels like a decently made, well-made, well-constructed pen. So, if you're looking for a pen like this, or another pen, a pen that is custom made, there are many colors, there are many designs, there's a lot of options. Check out Brett Thompson. His YouTube name is HK Strongside. I'll put a link to his channel below in the description of this video. Check it out. Contact him if you're looking for a very cool pen. So finally, things I don't like about this pen. Nothing. I'm sorry. I really love the pen. So what I'll do next is I show you a writing sample, and that's it. So I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye bye. Okay, here we go. Look at the pen. This camera is a bit more high res than the other one, but the marbling of this pen is really, really nice. I think this is a very, very nicely designed pen. Okay, let's look how it writes. I have no idea how to call this pen, so I'll call it the Brett pen. Ink, Diamine Syra, for those of you interested. But of course, right now, it's about the pen. Writing is smooth. I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure. I had never seen this nib. I didn't know what it would be like, but I can tell you it's a very, very smooth nib. It's not solid gold, definitely not. As I said, it might be rhodium plated, we're not absolutely sure. It doesn't really matter. It's smooth. It's a smooth nib that's very pleasant to use. It is not scratchy at all. As you can see, it lays down a nice even patch of ink. When you write quickly with it, the feed keeps up well. There is no skipping. I haven't had a lot of startup problems with the nib, so that's perfect. When it comes to flexibility, well, there isn't that much. There is some line variation. It's not extreme, but it is a steel nib, right? It's not gold or anything, so that is somewhat to be expected. Okay. Yeah, okay, you can see some line variation, which is nice. I cannot emphasize how smooth this nib is. I mean, I've used a lot of steel nibs, some better than others, but this one really is very good. Very nice. Very pleased with the performance of the pen. Okay, so I hope this was useful. If you're looking for a nice pen, check out the description of the video and you will find a link to the profile of a person who can make such a nice pen for you. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later.